Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. It's a podcast. It's the 26th of March. I'm BoredGamer. I'm here with Zinnia. Say hello, Zin.
Hello, Zin.
We're both older now as well. I'm 40. I will never divulge the age of a lady. So yeah, we've had our birthdays. We're old now. So today I want to talk about Alpha 4.1, which looks like it's going to be releasing imminently. There's the release candidate 1, which typically means it's going to be released later this week. We'll talk about that in a second. We've also got to talk about the ATLS combat variant potentially, the ATLS Geo as well, the mining variant of those mech suits, the Drake Golem, the LA Studio Closing, that sort of stuff. So how you doing, Zin?
I'm alright, mate. How are you?
Oh, tired.
Old.
Got a sensitive tum-tum. But other than that, actually pretty good. I wanted to have the weekend mostly off. And obviously you and your partner and a few of our other mates came around for board games and stuff. But I seem to be doing videos anyway. So I'm just... it's their fault.
No.
Star Citizen, it's not me. It's not me. I'm not a workaholic. So, Zin, Alpha 4.1. Do you think it's going to be ready for the end of the week? For live? Yeah.
They're probably going to push it out, and it's going to be buggy.
Yep, that's almost certainly what's going to happen. That said, the patch, they fixed tons of stuff. There were problems in 4.0.2. Other stuff has reared its head, including some bandwidth in spikes and almost 30k errors, although they seem to have largely been fixed from what I can tell. Hashtag citation needed. But yeah, I think Zin's probably right with the monthly cadence for patches like this. Typically, they're going to fix a load of stuff, but there are going to be bugs. And even if they're not ready, like super ironed, they'll still push them out. Do you think that's still the best idea, though, to get a monthly patch cycle like that over keep on holding them back?
Yes. I think it's also probably a case of they're getting used to getting it out monthly. You know, It's like a new thing for them. Yeah.
What does a monthly patch cadence actually mean to them? And when do they need to start testing? When do they need to stop content to then fix other content and stop adding features? Because this 4.1 patch is the first effectively major patch we've had since the monthly patch cycle. Although I'm not 100% sure what makes it a major patch beyond it being called 4.1 rather than 4.0.x.
Maybe they finally realised that their numbering structure is pointless.
Well, no, there's loads of
and
points
wrong.
in. There's loads of points in their system. Like there's going to be a 4.1.0 like later this week, mate. The thing is that their patch system, their numbering system for everything, is more a practice in marketing now. They just use the numbers and that sort of stuff. It doesn't relate to a normal alpha or beta game, really. At least in my opinion.
Yes.
People can tell us differently down below if they love the numbering system or whatever. 4.1 contains a load of new features. Obviously, it's going to be hugely defined by the Align and Mine, new events, and the sandworm stuff. So you're always slightly annoyed at me for being right about sandworms and being accurate, but only about sandworms.
Yeah.
But more sandworms, and obviously, well, I think almost certainly this will lead into bigger and bigger sandworms in the coming months, and in the not too distant future, we'll have the large sandworm raids, which looks like they'll also be connected to the Banu Collector missions. So we've got the first Banu in-game, Wicklow, which has been confirmed that is Wicklow, that's how you pronounce it, at least according to CIG. So you've been to some of these emporiums, yeah?
I've managed to get in one before it was open.
Oh yeah, you got into one when it was yeah. So now they're open properly in the patch, in the open PTU. There's 3 of his emporiums that are currently available. They're cool little museums with a load of cool gear in, and you go there and you can trade items and get missions, and like it's a drop-off locations for a load of these missions. Some of the Wicklow rewards are things like military loadouts for ships, all the way up to a Polaris. There's some really cool armors and stuff like that for FPS. I've seen Tessa Bannister or T Bannister in a cryopod. Some pretty cool stuff. But the thing I want to talk about that was now been revealed over the weekend, I think, was an ATLS combat variant suit. You've seen my video on this.
Yes, unfortunately. I mean, yes, your videos are wonderful.
Thank you. Appreciated. What do you think of this compared to the original? Well, what do you think of this? Do you think this is real?
Well, it exists.
Do you think it's an April Fool's?
No, because it's not April Fool's.
That's a good point. It's not Triggerfish. It's that's 1st of April. Okay, yeah, fair. Do you think it could be like a museum piece or something though, rather than something that will be functional soon?
It would be stupid for them to design something to that degree and not be functional.
Quite possibly. Although it could be something that was how it looked earlier in development, and now they've got something a bit more refined. But yeah. I mean, I'm throwing out random possibilities and some of the conspiracy theories that other people have had online, basically. What do you think of it? Because basically, it's gone, I'm an EXO from NS2. That's what it looks like.
It's not even that nice.
It's not. It's just... So what do you think of it compared to the pretty concept that we've previously had?
Yeah, it's what? What is it?
It's clunky, right?
It's minimal. It's like that. So the whole point of what I would assume anyway with the concept of the Titan suit is it was supposed to be a protective shell as well.
Yeah, like an Iron Man suit almost, right?
Yeah, which that isn't.
Yes, you don't feel very protected when like your arse and thighs are exposed.
I'd expect it to look bulkier as well.
Yeah, which is why some people are like, oh, is this actually supposed to be the Titan suit? Or maybe these are civilian suits that have been outfitted with weapons, but the military suits are a lot more armoured.
I would say, if anything, it is more like somebody has taken an Atlas and modified it to be a little bit more defensive.
Yeah. So, and it's also possible that the ATLSs, the Atlases, they're not supposed to have military versions, and these are literally retrofitted civilian versions. The thing is that we don't know. All we've got is effectively a model that appears in the Banner Collector Emporiums, and a lot of people now are going, is this the combat Titan suits that we were promised? And if so, they're not very pretty compared to the concepts. I mean, I want them in game, don't get me wrong, and give me a functional combat mech. And it might look a bit different once it's turned on, right? And active. It might, right? Like... I mean...
Pressing X to doubt.
Oh, no, don't doubt. Oh, I did a little side eye when I was saying it. But yeah, I'm interested to know what other people think, and if they also have like a military version, do you want it to be looking a bit more like the concept and a bit cooler looking, or you're like, nah, I don't care if they're functional, they're supposed to be these like military things, don't care if they're pretty, I'm fine with them just being like clunky exos. Sin.
Yeah?
Drake Gollum, what do you think?
It's cute.
It is cute, isn't it? And I think that it's going to get a lot of people into mining because it's basically a cheaper, more starterier version of the Prospector.
Yeah, I don't know. Do we know how cheap it is?
No, but they said that the Prospector was probably the natural progression from this if you wanted to get into mining more. So it's got to be cheaper than the Prospector, right?
You'd hope so.
And it's a starter ship. They've also said it's a starter. I'm hoping they make starter ship for pretty much every role in game, because I'd want a ship that I can start with and they can have like an intro mission for that, or like I can borrow the ship for an intro mission or something like that. Is that the sort of stuff you want to see?
Yeah, well, because you might not know if you're going to enjoy a role, and you don't want to be outlaying a load of money before you do it, so you want to have minimal cost.
Even if you're renting it, like having a cheaper ship to rent just makes sense, right? I suppose I've gone a weird roundabout way to get to this. The ATLS Geo. I'm sure I've probably talked about this after the combat period. Make the leap. So this is interesting because this is the ATLS where they've removed the tractor beam and now it's got a mining laser. And I think it works for both FPS and vehicle mining, which in 4.1 is exclusive minables for the FPS hand
I was going to ask about that.
Tools.
Is it classified as hand mining or vehicle mining?
I believe it does both. I believe you can set the power to do either type, or at least that's the intention.
That makes me feel like the idea of splitting the two was kind of a ploy to get people to buy this.
No, Sid, come on.
They wouldn't dare.
They wouldn't do that. I really like it because it's got a big backpack on it and a little pod on it that you can actually remove and replace, so you can like take the ore out of it and pile it in your ship or whatever. And I just generally like it for mining. I'm not 100% sure that it does or will 100% do both FPS and vehicle mining. I believe that was the intention though. Stuff changes basically is what I'm saying. kind of the bigger thing about this is the jump jets, the jump pack that it's got. So it literally has a little bit of jet fuel so that it can jump over gaps and can maneuver around stuff, and it charges really quickly, but it runs out pretty quickly as well. So you can jump reasonably high, but it's like a couple of seconds of fuel or of boost. And yeah, and it allows you to jump, it allows you to maneuver. What do you think about that?
I think it's cool. I think it'd be cool, like, pack a couple of them into a ship, go off to a cave, do some little cavey mining. Yeah,
it's much more appealing to me than like the Rock DS, which is the two-seater little vehicle, which just felt weird. This is much more appealing. Although I just make anything into a mech and I'm going to feel pretty happy. Yeah, I'm interested to know what other people think about that. And do you think we're going to see stuff like this used for when you eject in atmosphere? Is it going to be jump jets?
God, yeah.
On your chair or whatever happens to make you to land properly. Maybe it's part of your armor or EDA suit. Like, cause some of the other things is they did when they updated the ATLS recently with this, they've given it little temporary thrusters for when the normal one, when the tractor beam one jumps out of like a ship or whatever from a height. As it hits the ground, it levels out with little thrusters. I'm just thinking that that's just a simple way of having players survive atmosphere. And I suppose the other thing is do you want to see FPS armor with the ability to have jump jets on?
Well, I mean, would that not just be a Titan suit?
What if it is just like the backpack that you put on you?
I don't think, maybe. I don't think that should ever be its intended use, which makes me think that it would never really have it. Okay.
I'm just interested to see where the direction some of this will go. I do think in the next decade of development, even after beyond 1.0, they're going to be probably exploring every idea that's a sci-fi idea that they can cram into the game. Something that survived over a decade, Zin.
Yes.
The LA studio. Now, Zin laughed at this because she sent me a link just before we started about when the LA studio for CIG for Star Citizen opened, which was almost 12 years ago. So yeah, the LA studio, which was originally, I suppose you could have seen it as like the main studio at one point, is closing down. CIG have said we're going to be concentrating on the other studios. It makes sense for us to move stuff around. And from what I can tell, the LA studio was mostly focusing on admin and was a much smaller studio over the last few years. It had been getting like smaller and smaller. They'd been moving operations off to Montreal, Austin, the UK and Frankfurt, and the UK is just a massive studio, and they've made that their headquarters. So what do you think of this LA studio closing down soon?
I mean, I guess it was time.
Yeah? Do you think it's anything that's problematic or worrying?
I don't think so, no.
No, if anything, from my point of view, it's a sensible thing because it will make them more financially efficient. I mean, the LA studio's got to have been expensive, right? Just to rent. But do you think this is one of the reasons that there were C-level officers like departing, and some of the other high-level CIG departures that we'd seen over the last 18 months? Do you think this is one of the reasons because they were unable or unwilling to relocate?
Possibly. I don't know what the laws are in the US, but I believe in the UK, if you move your operations too far from where they were, I think you're liable to actually pay for travel and stuff for people to get to the new place.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know the exact rules on that, but I had a little thing when my last place I worked at did a similar thing. So
okay, so you'll probably won't have to travel far for work with me because you work from home. Yeah, citation needed on our podcast. That's what we should call the podcast. I suspect someone else already has that name. Yeah, I'm sort of interested in what other people think about that, but I wouldn't mind if they moved all of their operations to their big UK office, but obviously they've got quite a big Montreal studio now. They've still got one in Austin, they've still got one in Frankfurt, and they're pretty big studios, and they all do important amounts of development, but the LA studio had been getting smaller and smaller and had, from what I can tell, was mostly focused on admin, and this just seems sensible for efficiency. This could be one of the reasons that we haven't seen the CIG financials so far, mixed up with the high-level staff, a change in direction, and the closing of some studios like this. What I did find weird was that this was announced effectively as a concierge thing. So you've got a concierge chairman's club letter out, so people that have spent over $1,000 a concierge. That's how this was announced. They went, we're going to give you a special gift. Sorry, what for? We're closing the LA studio, and you get a picture of a constellation that was above Chris Roberts' desk for Star Citizen as a piece of a little flair. I mean, it's cool, and it's cool to have sort of like, is it the original concept for the constellation? Maybe.
Don't know. Maybe if you'd read the newsletter.
Well, I did. To celebrate everything our LA studio brought to the project, we're gifting all members of the Chairman's Club a special piece of our history, an in-game replica of the constellation artwork that hung above Chris Roberts' desk for so many years. Yeah, that's just us. Yeah, I'll assume it's the first piece of constellation concept art, but it's not. But that's what I assume now. I can't read. You can tell us what it is in the comments below. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for the future for Star Citizen. I'm okay with them trying to make stuff more efficient. A lot of people's sort of problem with Star Citizen had previously been, oh, they're burning through money too fast, or they don't like the higher ups or some of the managers and stuff, and they've had a bit of a shakeout. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see when we actually get the financials, because CIG have said to me a couple of times that they're going to be putting something out for that. Typically, we get it late December, early January, but we're a little while behind that now. Zin. Squadron 42.
Yeah.
Launches 2026.
Yeah.
So the messaging for this is becoming more firm now. So in the latest Squadron 42 newsletter, which are a very sort of stripped down but focused piece of marketing, it's not like the monthly reports anymore. They sort of do these every 2 months, and they go, oh, let's talk about something Squadron 42e and give people that are following Squadron 42 something to do, or some free little bits and bobs like desktops and screenshots and art and stuff. This time it's translating a Vandal message, and they want the community to get involved with this, and you can win a Vandal scythe. So some cool stuff going on there. Also, yeah, Squadron 42 at the end of the newsletter says launches 2026. It looks like they are really, really, really raring to go for 2026 rather than just going, that's the plan. It looks like, yeah, actually marketing is starting to come online to display that as well and firm in that date. Do you think that's accurate? Do you think, 2026 is the year?
Well, obviously that's what they're aiming for. However, that could be in as little as under 12 months, because it could come out January 2026.
Not 9 months. No, just over 9 months' time.
Or it could be as much as the end of 2026. So like a year and 7 months sort of thing.
That is a good point.
6 months, whatever.
Several months and a year.
And a year, yeah.
Yeah. So that's a real good point. I'm interested to know what other people think. I'm looking forward to seeing more. I don't like the fact they've stripped down these compared to like the monthly reports they used to do, but at the end of the day, the Squadron 42 stuff now will either be spoilers or just them polishing stuff. Maybe it's not appropriate to do a monthly report, and something that's a bit more marketing based and promotional based. It makes sense to do like these. I mean, some of the art and stuff they've shown here is pretty cool. And I'm interested to know if anyone's got involved with the trying to decipher what the Vandals say there. So, yeah. Got anything else to say? Are you excited for 4.1?
I suppose.
Yeah? Anything in particular that you're looking forward to with the patch?
No, not really. That's what I mean.
Yeah, well,
it's just a bit of a meh one, isn't it?
So, I think it's the problem with monthly patches. This one has the appearance. It appears to just be what I would deem a normal monthly patch. I don't know why it's got the 4.1 moniker. Why it's basically being almost marketed as a major patch. We'll have to wait and see. I'm much more excited than you are for it, I think.
Maybe the monthly patches are going to be 4.1, 4.2, 4.3.
Yeah, it's possible.
And just the little hot fixes during the month will be the 4.1.x patches.
Maybe. It could also be story-based, right? Like they could go, well, actually, missions and stories are now how we're defining major patches. And because this story with Align and Mine is sort of kicking off properly, and whatever's happening with the regeneration tech, because obviously they want to bring in Death of a Spaceman eventually, and there's lore and news and stuff about some people not regenerating sometimes in the lore of the game, and they're trying to work out why this is happening. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I'm interested to know what other people think. Are you super excited? Do you think we're going to see an ATLS combat variant in 4.1? Are you excited for the Geo, for the Drake Golem, for the Align Mine event? I mean, it's cool they've got little sandworms in. There's a load of cool stuff in there. I think the Banu Emporium and some of the rewards there are pretty exciting as well. And this is what content-driven patches look like. They're missions and gameplay area and expansions and evolutions of features that we have in game rather than entirely new ones. But sometimes they're just not as exciting. But it depends on who you are, I suppose. Some people will be super excited for this. Just Zin's not one of them.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. The reason I like you on the podcast, Zin, is because you have a differing opinion of stuff. Obviously, I'm going to be, even if it was a disappointing patch, I'm going to be still relatively excited about certain parts of it. But for me, this is still pretty exciting. It's just, confused why it's seen as a major patch. But tell us in the comments below what you think. Also, maybe you should get yourself some NordVPN, nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. Makes you more secure on the interwebs, as well as increasing your privacy and giving you better accessibility to the internet. Do you like NordVPN, Zin? Don't answer that. It's okay. I know you do. You don't need to answer that. What are we giving away for the rest of March, Zin, ship-wise? We've got a ship giveaway, haven't we?
It's a Super Hornet Mark II.
Yeah.
With Heartseeker kit.
Oh, yeah.
And a game package.
Anything else with it?
Lifetime insurance.
Bam! Lifetime insurance. It was kindly given to us by CIG. Thank you very much, CIG. If you want to further support the channel, use the links down below. All the affiliate links, like things to THRUSTMASTER and stuff. They give us little kickbacks. So click those. There's cool new joysticks available. Things like that. Thanks very much for watching. This is a podcast. This is an end of a podcast. This is Zen saying goodbye. Say goodbye, Zen.
Goodbye, Zin.
Thanks for watching. See you in the verse.